What if you never had to get an API key ever again? So the problem is that when you're signing up to a platform like Valtown or Replit, Lovable, Vercel, anywhere you'd make an app, vibe coding gets you super far in minutes. So you're prototyping something, you're making something new, and in minutes, like literally like 3 minutes, 7 minutes, you'll have an amazing app that does very close to exactly what you want. Except if you need an API key for some reason, you need browser based, you need a little bit of OpenAI, you need a little bit of S3, you need some hosted paid premium service, you need weather data, crypto data, stock market data, very common. And so you may spend 5 minutes or 45 minutes, and you can never know at the outset getting an API key. You have to sign up, you have to fill out their forms, you have to add a credit card, you have to prove something, you have to add funds. It's like where in people like to make fun of Google and Gemini, like it'll take like 10 minutes or 20 minutes. It's a Kafka-esque nightmare to just get an API key and give it the right permission scopes to just make a simple single API call to see if it's even the right API to begin with. It's a nightmare. And so back in the olden days when it would take you 8 hours to make an app, the 30 minutes you spent getting API keys is acceptable. But today, when you can make the whole app in 10 minutes, and it takes 30 minutes or more to get the API keys, the vast majority of the time is getting API keys. So programming becomes mostly about getting API keys, which is utterly unacceptable. So this is such a big problem for Valtown because I care so much about developer experience. People come to Valtown, they want to make stuff, and especially now that we have Townie, our AI agent, which is wonderful, they'll say, make me an app that, it'll be like they'll describe a simple ChatGPT wrapper. And my goodness, like the app is built for them in like 2 minutes flat. And then the hard part, of course, is getting the OpenAI access. So we created this, what we call standard library, where we proxy OpenAI and give Valtown users authorization to our proxy for some amount of OpenAI. But now we're in the position of having to do rate limiting and usage-based billing on top of all these other platforms. It's a nightmare. We do the same with email. So in Valtown, you can send emails, some amount of emails. Again, we have to rate limit it so people don't go crazy. But at the same time, if you just sign up and you're like, I want to send myself an email, boom. You don't have to get an API key to do that. We just allow you to do that. Ditto for blob storage and SQLite. We used to have an IP anonymizer hosted service that we would proxy for. We used to do Twitter. We might bring that one back because that one was super popular. And then Clay for enrichments, if you want to do like a Clearbit style, this email address, what company do they work for, kind of thing. And then a big part of what we do is we push users towards free APIs like Medio, because getting an API key is so annoying that it's just better to spend the extra 5 minutes looking for a free version that does almost what you want than it is to have to go and get an API key, because chances are you'll waste the time because it won't even be the right API. But there's a dream. The dream is that you can show up to any API. They don't know who you are. You're a stranger on the internet. You show up to any API with cold, hard cash. You immediately send a micropayment to try stuff out. And this isn't like some fiefdom, like you're not going to some intermediary company that's doing it, and they collect their 30% app store fee. The dream would be that this would be an open protocol that anyone could become a seller or become a buyer on this marketplace, and there'd be very minimal fees to transact here. This is the dream. You could think of it, if you're using OpenRouter to do your LLM stuff, as like OpenRouter, but for everything. So OpenRouter is like one API key, one unified billing for all of the inference APIs, which is awesome. It is closed, not open, which is ironic because it's called OpenRouter, but that irony always happens. For example, OpenAI. But yeah, so it's OpenRouter for everything and as a protocol, not a store. Surprise! It already exists. It's already been built, and it's pretty neat, it seems. I haven't really been able to find any issues with it, but You'll see. It's not perfect, but it already exists, and nobody cares. The reason it exists and yet nobody cares is because you'll have to hold your nose. It has to do with crypto. Um, it's called X402, and it was created by Coinbase about a year ago. I think May 2025. Stripe is all about it as well. They're working on it pretty hard. Um, I know a couple different companies working in the space. So there are the companies in this space are excited about it, and they have an idea of why it's important and why it's exciting. But the rest of us, I think, just say, crypto, it's just like another lame crypto thing, ignore. Uh, but the good news is we may have actually found a worthwhile use case for crypto. This is actually what we want. We can now, it is the shape of what we want. It's an open protocol, super low fees, allows anyone to show up with cold hard cash to an API and try it out without signing up. Boom, just like, here's a tenth of a penny. Let me try your API. Oh, I like it. Cool. Now I'll just I still don't need to sign up for an API key. I'm just going to get that tenth of a penny thing that I was doing with you, that transaction. Let's just do that a million times. Great. I'm paying you. You're supplying the paid service. You're getting money. I'm getting the service. I never had to sign up for an API key. This is kind of like, I think I heard the story that Twilio used to brag about how Uber was spending like $1 million a year with them, and they like never even talked to anyone from Uber. Like that, this is the next level of that dream. It's like, we don't even know the name of this person. We just know their crypto address, and they're just spending a ton of money with us. Okay, so I want to try it out from end to end on this video so you guys can see the full flow, the full user story as someone who's like, I would like to pay for an API. Like, let's get my ass on chain and create a wallet and add USDC and make a payment and get the service in response. And then at the very end, we'll do the other side of it. Let's use that same wallet address and become a seller. And then, I guess for simplicity's sake, so far I've been paying myself out of my own wallet, which is kind of a no-op, except for gas fees. But gas fees are sponsored by some of these reconcilers, which is unexpected and delightful. But I guess through this process, I'm going to create my second wallet. So I might as well add that second wallet to what I'm about to do so that we can pay from one account to another, and we can like see the balance go down in one and up in another. That seems kind of cool. Okay, so step number one, create a wallet. So, if you wanted to follow along at home, Coinbase wallet. So you first step is creating a Coinbase wallet. In theory, other places could help you create a wallet. I just went with Coinbase because that's what the AI told me to do. See, I didn't want to download it on my phone because then, like, how do I get the private key back to my computer? It's like a little more annoying. So I looked up Coinbase Chrome extension. Then I clicked on this and then I installed this. All right. So that's that. Then you click on this thing and you can add a wallet. Now you see I have one, but let's just add a new one. I think, you'll also have this like create wallet button. Weird. So many buttons. I don't know what all this does. Okay, create a new wallet. Okay, so now I'm going to pause the video so you guys don't see this wallet's passkey. Okay, I should have watched the clock. I didn't. I think it took me like 3 minutes. It's kind of annoying to do. You have to copy a recovery phrase into a secure password manager. You have to prove that you did that by doing a thing. But then if you come back to this browser and you click anywhere but exactly this Chrome extension, it will go away and the whole process will start over again. So you have to, if you re-click this, it'll start the wallet creation process over again, which is, maddening. So I did that a couple times. Then it asked me for a password. I'm surprised that it asked me for the same password as my last address, which is confusing because I tried my best to not create a Coinbase account. Like I just wanted unrelated wallets, but apparently these two wallets are secured with the same password. I don't know what that means. Anywho, so now I have a wallet. Now I need to buy some USDC. Okay, so the next part about this that was really hard was that it kept being like, no, you can't do it because your Coinbase account doesn't allow you to transfer to this wallet. Go whitelist it. I didn't want to deal with any of that nonsense. So I had to log out from Coinbase and like this page and another page. So finally let me see this screen. Now I can click buy with debit card. Okay. I'm going to just do, I'm just going to do, I was going to say one. I'm going to do two ETH. No, I don't want to buy ETH. I want to buy USDC. Great. Continue to payment. Man, I wish I had. Oh, do I have Apple Pay? Huh. No. Yeah, I don't. I'm on a Mac, but okay. Hopefully, it's fine for me to. Hopefully, this is a public key. I would imagine. Let's see. I think I just paused the video for like 2 minutes to get my debit card, fill out that form, maybe 3 minutes. So, anyways, this is still not great. You know, we're doing this ID check thing. Like this thing is not great, but the promise of this is that you just have to do this once. You can add maybe more than $2. You can add $100, and then you'll have $100 of API credits that you can use on any API for forever. That's pretty exciting. And yeah, so that's good. Let's see if the money's there. Sometimes I find you need to like, where's the like refresh button? Buy. Okay. All right. Looks like, oh, status failed. Why did it fail? All right. So can I try it again? It was my bad. I got my own address wrong. I was using home or work when I should have been using work or home. It's funny that it didn't tell me if it succeeded or not. Okay, pending. Let's see. Pending. Let's see. Okay. Still 0. What happened to instant settlements, guys? What is it? What's happening? What are we waiting on here? All right. My funds were successful. I just got a text. My funds were successfully added. All right, that text was kind of cool. Look at that. Two USD, free to send. All right. So now, all right, create a wallet. Add USDC. Check. All right, make. So I made this X402 Playground, which has buyer and seller things all figured out. So here, let me just show you the buyer side of things. So this is a web app, so I have here in my environment variables, the private key, which I won't show you, obviously. And this is just a UI on top of some premium APIs. This one is using BrowserBase, and this one is I'm buying for myself for a tenth of a penny. And here's a little more details. Here's my wallet ID. Cool. So the BrowserBase one is really cool. So here, without further ado, I'll just hit the button. So it went to BrowserBase, said, I would like a browser. It said that would cost 5 cents, or sorry, 1 cent. For a browser for I think maybe 5 seconds, something like that. What's going on? It was working before. I wonder if it'll work this time. And so BrowserBase is like, that'll cost money. Oh my goodness. Let's debug this. Huh. Interesting. Okay, so the BrowserBase session is happening. Oh, maybe the image is too big or something like that. On the screen shots. Okay, so Townie, our agent, is going to go on the case, see what's going on. Well-known.farcaster.json. Huh. Interesting. I wonder who's doing that. Oh, I found the issue. All right. The PNG is too big. Okay. Neat. So did it Did it fix it? Fixed. Okay. It says it fixed. Great. All right. Let's take a freaking screenshot, guys. Boop, boop, boop. It'd be meta. I could take a screenshot of this page. Then you guys wouldn't even see it. You'd be like, oh, it looks the same. Okay. So yeah, we went to BrowserBase. We're like, please give me a browser for 5 seconds or 5 minutes. It might be 5 minutes. Then BrowserBase said that'll be 1 penny. Our app takes our wallet address. Here, let me show you what it's doing. Our browser. Here we go. Zoom in a little. Oh, nope. Get out of there. Okay. So we went to the. We did a post request to take the screenshot of Valtown. We did a special like fetch, but with a wallet attached. There's like an SDK for that. I'll show you what that looks like. I think this is like doing the fetch with payment thing. It's like kind of wrapping stuff, and then when we go to BrowserBase, we're doing like fetch with payment. We're like getting so it's kind of it's like a normal fetch, but like it has all the wallet stuff in there, and we're using these like X402 libraries that like wraps fetch with payment, and this is like getting the wallet set up from the environment variable. Okay, so back to here. So we go to BrowserBase and say like, make me a new browser session. And they say, no, that'll be a penny. And so then we sign a USDC payment on an L2 USDC blockchain. And then we retry this post request with a payment signature HTTP header saying like, this is a receipt. This is proof that we've paid you for access to this browser session. So go start up a Chromium for us. And then it says, sure, here is the WebSocket URL. Give it a go. And then that goes to our app. And our app, we're just like storing the data in SQLite because I wanted to do that, to have a list of my transactions. And then we do the normal Playwright thing. We go to the URL, we take a screenshot, and then we return the screenshot to the user. So that's we did it. And here's a screenshot. This is a freaking PNG of val.town, Pretty freaking cool, if you asked me. Okay, so back to my slides. We made a payment. Check. We didn't use the new address. We continued to use this address. Let me show you how I would use this address. I would go into settings and developer and then show private key. Here, I'll pause the video. Okay, so I copied the private key. So I'm going to go create a new one. X42 private key 2 and paste it in here. You have to add 0x at the beginning, which is pretty freaking crazy if you ask me, but whatever. That's what you have to do. Create. So now I have a second private key in environment variables. Now, let's see. Let's tell Townie to help us with this. Added a second wallet private key. Can you add appropriate UIs on the front end to choose which wallet we are paying from and which we are paying to in the seller example? Okay. So Townie's gonna do that so we can pay to BrowserBase from the other account, and you'll see this. You'll see the $2 become less than $2 here. Like just as for example, this is less than $5 because I originally put in $5, obviously, and then we'll try adding money from. Maybe we'll try adding money from this one back to this one to get it back up to $200. Whatever. I don't know. Okay, so there's like a whole bunch of changes that need to happen, and it should be the case that an AI can do these level of changes in 2026 in March without me having to care much about them. This is like kind of straightforward stuff in 2026. All right, so that's going. Okay, so we made a payment. Now let's accept a payment. Yeah, so we're kind of like I added the private key thing, and we're accepting payments. So all of the code for the seller is really in this one file, and the vast majority of it is this HTML. So to accept a payment, look at this. It already did the two freaking things. Huh. Wow, weird. Yeah, I don't know what this does, to be honest. This changes something somewhere? Huh, I don't know. That's the problem with vibe coding. What does this even do? Maybe it changes something somewhere. I don't know. Okay, so this is the world's most expensive math.random. If you go to the endpoint, we will do a X402 and require you to give us 1/10 of a cent in order to do this X402 thing. So read the wallet from the form now. Okay, yeah. So it wrote some libraries for itself, and the libraries don't they assumed the same wallet, but now we have to parameterize that. So that's why it's taking so long. Okay, so is it done? Okay, cool. It says everything is done. Let's test it freaking out. If you ask me, let's test it freaking out. All right. So, yikes. I don't know which one is which. I think this is the new one. Yeah, I think this is the new one. I'm pretty sure. Let's see if we can find out. Address. Manage wallets. Okay. Nope. Show export public keys. Can you just show me the freaking public key somewhere? Freaking crypto people. Where's the key? What does this copy button do? Oh, look at that. Okay, cool. 3427. Nice. All right, so that's the one we want to do. Okay, so we'll do the screenshot, but then what about the random number? Let me see if this one remembers who's calling it, as we were thinking it might. Okay, cool. So we got the screenshot result. We paid $0.01, and do we see that here? Look at that. Yep, I think I saw it. Yep, there it is. The penny, the penny is gone. We gave it to BrowserBase. They have our penny. Do they have 2 pennies? I don't know. I don't know what happened. Maybe they have 2 pennies. Maybe it's a rounding error. You can go to transactions, and interesting. Oh, it looks like I have 2 addresses in one wallet. I see. So maybe I made 2 addresses in one wallet. Yeah. Okay. So interesting. Maybe I'm not sending a penny to BrowserBase. I'm sending 4/10 of a penny. We want this wallet. Weird. Okay, sure. So then you can go and Block Explorer. So there's gas fees that are paid, but apparently a lot of the reconcilers pay those for you. For example, I've been paying myself, and my balance doesn't change because someone else is paying the gas fees, which is sick. Okay. All right. So we did that. We paid from a new wallet. Okay. So if I change this to 2 and close this and refresh page, no, yeah, it's still the same. So how do I specify? You know what? I'm gonna close this. Okay. paying wallet. Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure who's going to get paid. Let's try paying from the second wallet, and let's hope that it pays the first wallet. All right, so I'm just paying myself, paying from one wallet to another, one pocket to another. Okay, cool. Paid from wallet 2. Go here to transactions. Boom. Look at that. Received. Okay, yeah. So I sent from one wallet to the other wallet. It subtracted 2 cents. It was supposed to be 1. I can't tell if I'm doing things wrong, or there's gas fees, or it's round error. Okay, transaction fee. So hopefully I didn't pay this. Gas price. Oh no. Gas price. Okay, I hope I didn't pay that. Where is the amount of money? Yeah, okay. Transfer. That's that. Okay, cool. That is the amount that I transferred. It's 0.0001. Why does it round up to 0.0002? I don't know. But let's not lose sight of the fact that this is magical. I have these wallets. I've added USDC money to them. I can give that money to browser-based. Like I can set up a Chrome instance in the cloud without ever talking to browser-based, besides being like, here's my cold hard cash, give me a browser. And then I can set up my own little shingle. I can say, if you show up with cash, I will give you a random number. I ask for 1/10 of a penny. Can you guys provide random numbers any cheaper? Okay, that was fun. The demos. Okay. You might have questions. What about LLM payments where it can be variable ? Instead of A? I think so. When this protocol launched, I don't think they had a way to solve that, because like when you go to use an LLM, you'll specify a different model. You'll specify like it could return like 2 sentences. It could return like a whole like paragraphs. Like how can you figure out how to charge correctly for like a streaming response where nobody knows ahead of time how much it's going to cost? So when this protocol launched, I'm pretty sure they didn't have a solution, but now they do. Basically, my understanding is they say deposit the max amount, like let's say $10 into a escrow, basically, and then give them permission to draw down from that escrow in a streaming way as they stream out the expensive resource, which sounds elegant and awesome in some ways, I guess. If you're making like 1 million API calls, are you just like are you getting like super locked up in escrow with like for each one? Can you like reuse the escrow? Can you like batch API calls and be like, all right, here's like $100, like draw down, continue to draw down from my escrow across all these API calls. And then, at some point you have to remember they tell you to like re-up your escrow. I don't know. It also gets more complicated with stateful things like, start me a VM. Well, so with the browser base, you say like start it for 5 seconds, or what you say how many minutes, I think. I think with a limit, the minimum of 5 minutes, which to me sounds too large. You tell them ahead of time how many minutes you want this thing, and then they give you a price based on that. So that's cool. And in theory, that's fine for other like VMs sort of things. And S3, like if you're like, hey, store this image for a year, and they give you a price, and now they have to store it for a year. Or we could say, here's $1, store it for 10 years. That's reasonable. I guess things are trickier if it's stateful and variable. So it's like Supabase. It's like, sure, they can store your database for 2 years, but like, what if your database grows and they need to charge you more money? I guess that's where the escrow comes in. So you can like prepay and then also provide escrow. I don't know. These are tricky stuff, but I think very interesting. So at the end of the day, the solution, I think, what we're heading to, I'm curious if other people disagree or have other ideas. I think the solution is you'll sign up to a platform like Valtown or Replit or Lovable or Vercel. The platform, like Valtown, will create for you, or you can import a crypto wallet. And then the platform, like Valtown, will give you, some free pennies to play with. How much free money to play with without having to like put down a credit card and like buy the USDC, I think depends on the platform and how easy that platform is able to tell legitimate users from like spammy users. Like I want to give, like if you're like a legit person and I can tell that from your GitHub profile, sure, here's $1, here's $10. But if like I can't tell who you are, you're just a stranger on the internet, maybe I give you $0. If you want to play with premium APIs, like put down a credit card, buy $2, buy $2 worth of USDC, or import your wallet that already has $2 worth of USDC. Then you vibe code your apps in minutes or less. It'll use half a dozen APIs. Who cares? It'll try APIs, see if they work, switch to a different one. You don't even have to know about it. Oh my God, the beauty. The beauty. You don't even have to know about APIs. It just becomes like a thing that's below the level of abstraction for us developers. Like it's just handled at the protocol level. Amazing. And then it's done. Your app works. You never got an API keys. You can move on with your day. All right, so what's next? I think this is my last slide. So we need more sellers on X402. I put all this together earlier today, and one of the things that took the longest time was finding an API to buy stuff from that worked with the off-the-shelf X402 libraries. I tried like a couple different ones, and none of them worked. And then I heard that BrowserBase had one, just talking to an AI about it. And I was like, oh, BrowserBase, like they're a reputable name. Like I bet they adhere to the spec, and they did right out of the box. So that was awesome. I'm confused why like there isn't someone doing an open router like Play where they just proxy all this, like, the top 10, 20, 100 services, S3, EC2, whatever, just like proxy everything, proxy every hosted API that anyone could want, OpenAI, Anthropic, and just slap 402 on top of it. So one person will go get all the API keys, slap 402 on top, and then just like implement the protocol well and charge like a little markup. In theory, if someone made a name for themselves of doing a good job of that, like a true open router, I don't know what we'd call it. In theory, that'd be an awesome business. I think I tried Pylon API, which is horribly named because Pylon is like this Slack support platform. I once wasted a lot of time like being confused about these two things. Anyways, this is trying to do that, but my agent tried to use it and couldn't figure it out. So anyways, I think that's a cool startup opportunity there. And then the on-ramp needs to be easier. It was like definitely an annoying 10, 20 minutes to like figure it out the first time, at least 20 minutes probably. The second time, even though I knew what I was doing, it still took 10 minutes. So making the on-ramps easier for people and then also companies to integrate. So like platforms like Valtown can provide wallets for folks and make it easy for them to add money. So that is my talk. Hope you enjoyed.